Hang on, people. That's an interesting little chase. Some problems and issues. Let's take a look at it.
Breaking news right now. We will get back to Good Morning America, but right now we need to show you a chase that is underway. The car that you see speeding is on I-95 southbound. We know it's going through.
Okay, so we see the unit here that's parallel him, and he decides to cut in front of two cars. And
need to show you a chase that is underway. The car that you see speeding is on I-95.
So I think he clips his car. He actually does a self-pit. If this was a pit maneuver and this guy was a cop, he would pull up here and he would make this front wheel hit about where this guy's wheel is, or bumper to bumper, you know, anywhere in that area. And it would spin this guy out. Except this guy is turning, so he doesn't have to turn into him, and he actually pits himself.
Southbound, we know it's
loses control.
It's going through.
This car gets pushed into this car, so this guy can't even slow down. This car ends up pushing this car into this car. These guys right here are all heading out to doctor school. They were late for their evening class.
Hollywood, and
then he trashes this guardrail.
Just, wow. Wow.
Just a terrible.
Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. Watch this unit come in and ram this car in the rear. Now, I don't think he intended to ram it. I think he had brake fade. Brake fade is a term that when your brakes get so hot from going so fast and slowing down so much, they stop working. Remember, it takes just as much energy and it heats up your brakes the same amount when you stop from 70 to 55 as it does when you stop from 55 to 0. Now, if you slam on their brakes at 55 all the way to 0, that's a lot of heat and a lot of energy. Well, that same amount of energy is produced when you slow from 70 to 55 because it goes up exponentially on as you get faster speeds. So this guy has brake fade because he's been slowing down from 70 to 55, dodging cars, 70 to 35 to go around cars, go intersections, make U-turns, and he ain't got no brakes. So here we go.
Crashed. I-95 southbound, that car that is upside.
So I want you to watch this woman too, but let's first watch the cop car do this one. We'll go back to this woman.
Down was
here comes cop car, brake fade.
Now.
Oops. Not only is it oops, one of the doctor students is trying to escape and run away. He's climbing out the back window, and he almost gets tagged.
I-95 southbound, that car
watch him coming
that
out
is
here.
Upside down was fleeing from police who have now.
Man, he's freaking lucky. Okay, so I do not think he meant to do that. But anyway.
Did that crash. You can see an officer out of his vehicle. Now several officers out of their vehicles with their guns drawn. You can see a suspect, it appears to be crawling out of the back windshield.
Now, normally in car chases, when there's a crash, it looks like you turn the light on and cockroaches are scattering because you got people bailing out of the car. And when you catch these people, they all got the same story. I don't know who was driving. He was just giving me a ride. I asked for a ride and he gave me a ride. I don't know who he is. Every one of them will say that. So it's almost like they teach you shit in doctor school. But anyway, so they get this guy out.
Shield of that vehicle. We don't know if anybody else is in there.
I guarantee there's other people in there, but I've seen it. But even before that, I was like saying it. I want to go back to this brilliant brainchild woman here who was in this accident. People are going to be like, Rick, she's in shock. Look, you had an accident. Freaking put your car in park and stop it. I mean, she just freaking, it's crazy.
I-95
so here she comes, rolling here, stops.
Down.
She stopped here.
Was fleeing from police who have now
doesn't put the car in drive. Evidently tries to get out or something.
Out of vehicle. Now,
tries to get out of the car while it's driving. Stops again. Tries to get out while it's rolling.
It appears to be.
Bam! Into a patrol car, falls on the ground. Really? You're that stupid? How the hell did you get your license? You don't know how to put a car in park and how to stop it? Rick, it's not her fault. It's their fault they hit. All right, whatever.
Drawn. You can see a suspect, it appears to be crawling out of the back windshield of that vehicle. We don't.
So how many crashes we got so far? Is there a highway patrolman here who loves this little traffic shit? We have the speeding vehicle. He hit two cars that crashed into each other. So that's 3 accidents. We have this car hitting him. That's 4 accidents. We have this car hitting her. That's 5 that we know of.
I don't know if anybody else is in there, but that person is now in custody.
She's getting back in her
this
car.
is Hollywood, I-95 South.
Here comes another guy. He's like, dude, man, this guy took my doctor books. I'm just trying to get it back. So this guy throws him on the ground. 2 people.
Now there's another person they are taking into custody.
You see police moving in, detaining both of those suspects that were in that speeding car. We had been watching it for you and just broke into Good Morning America to bring it to you live. That vehicle going at a high rate of speed on I-95.
All these white cops just picking on these poor black people. I mean, this is BS. Guys out here just stealing cars, flipping cars, trying to run away, trying to go for a jog, and these white cops are harassing joggers now. Crazy.
95 southbound through the Hollywood area, and it looked like the driver was trying to make a move to exit in
This guy lost a shoe. My shoe!
Hollywood.
Get your goonie.
We'll let you know exactly which exit that is as soon as we can see it. And then you saw all the police officers move in and detain both suspects as soon as that.
Okay, so here's my point. As a cop, the news people don't know this. As a cop, I'm like, there's still people in the car. How do I know that? Because there's still guys got their guns in there, which means they haven't cleared the car. Normally, we want to clear the car. And they still have their guns on the car, even though we pulled 2 people out. So it's obvious to me there's more people in the car. But the news media is like clueless. And they're like, oh, we don't know if there's anybody else in the car. And, okay, whatever.
Car flipped and they tried to crawl out of the back of the vehicle.
We understand that the exit that driver was trying to get off of was on Sterling Road, that I-95 exit, Sterling Road there.
Okay, before anybody says this guy was really mean to this guy, and he was on the ground here, and he picked him up and just brutally pulled him over here because he was black and threw him back on the ground. These guys were yelling, there's still dudes in the car, get out of there, the car isn't secure, get out of the area. So he was like, snatch, grab and go. We called it a grab and go when we were in the hood. If you have your arrestees and the hood starts pouring out on you and they start throwing bottles and yelling and you get a crowd surrounding you, it's like grab and go. Get your arrestee in the freaking car and let's get the hell out of here before it goes any worse. This guy did a grab and go. He snagged him and pulled him over here. That's why he did it. He didn't do it for kicks, grins, and giggles.
In Broward County, so making their way through Broward County and certainly heading towards Miami-Dade County.
So this cop is like, man, you guys deal with the doctor students. I'm gonna get me a hug. All she needs is a hug. Shit. Can't even put her car in park. She needs a hug.
We're a few miles north of the Golden Glades there, and you can see that they have taken someone else away from that vehicle. But that is one of the suspects that police have pulled out of that vehicle. What a violent and terrifying crash that was. And
violent and terrifying. Oh my God, it was so violent and terrifying. I'm shaking in my boots right now.
that driver was speeding, flying in and out of lanes, had crossed in and out of the express lanes as well. We saw some of those pylons there.
So we got Fort Lauderdale Police and we got State Police.
Marking off the express lanes, running into the road as the driver ran them over. But
and there's a woman there earning her money, standing around looking. Yeah, I was at that big accident. I was in control.
Thankfully, this is over because that was a very scary scene.
That was a very scary scene. Very scary. Shaking. I'm going to have nightmares.
Heading down 95.
And we're pulling out. You saw.
And here's another doctor student. Hey, how are you doing? Hey, man, what are you studying? I'm studying radiology. Okay, cool.
Just a second. Oh, there's another suspect being pulled out of the vehicle right now.
Oh, good catch.
A third suspect being pulled out of that vehicle.
Guns are still pointed. Means the car ain't cleared.
Police are still searching the vehicle to see if there is anybody else inside. All of your southbound lanes of I-95 are blocked, shut down, and closed. I know we'll have Alexis here in a minute, but I-95...
This guy with the sunglasses for hair, he's a sergeant. Just so y'all know, those stripes, see that?
Southbound is not an option for any...
Oh, no, he's grabbing another poor guy. Good grief, what happened? Man, picking on all these college students going to class.
Of our early morning drivers, a fourth suspect has
and
been
a fifth.
pulled out of...
See, the news media didn't say that. They keep saying 4. They've already removed 2, and there's 1,
the vehicle.
2, 3 here.
Right now,
Let's go
our
back.
early morning
In case you
drivers,
missed
a
it. 1,
fourth
2, 3.
suspect has been pulled out of the vehicle right now. Police are checking to see if there are any others. You're seeing all of this happening live, courtesy...
Guns going away, car's cleared. We call that a clue. Rick, you don't know, maybe... No, bullshit. Good cops aren't putting their guns away until the car's clear. That's what you do.
Of Sky 10, 4 suspects have been pulled out of that speeding car.
Okay, who owns the car? If you said any one of them owns the car, I'm saying the car's stolen. I don't know. I haven't been able to find out anything. Maybe I'll pause it and see if I can find out what
I-95
happened.
northbound is going very slow as well, as you can imagine.
And these are getting in the southbound lane, so there are going to be some significant traffic delays here.
So all the people in other countries will be watching this. CNN's going to be reporting these 5 kids were on their way to school, on their way to college, never been in trouble, and the cops just turned their car over and started pulling them out just because they were black. Stay tuned more to CNN on what happened.
I-95 northbound, anywhere north of Sterling Road. That's the exit the driver was trying to get out of. And we have, again, 4 suspects now being taken into custody. Looked like 1 or 2 of them were able to get out of the vehicle on their own immediately. The other 2
They weren't able to get out. They were ready to run, but the cops were too close.
were pulled out by law enforcement. You see Fort Lauderdale Police is there. You see Florida Highway Patrol, state troopers.
Look at this jackboot with his pants tucked in his boots and his little jackboot strap. Wow. Man, I feel just like I'm like back in the 1930s, 40s.
They are there as well. That chase involved
Black gloves, black boots with pants tucked in with a black stripe. Ooh, man, he's a bad dude.
multiple agencies. And as you can see, the response there is pretty significant.
All right, let's
Right
watch
now,
it
we
again.
need to show you a chase that is underway. The car that you see speeding is on I-95 southbound. We know it's going through Hollywood, and it just, wow. Wow.
Just a terrifying crash. I-95 southbound, that car that is
Here comes the
upside
driver
down
of the year.
was fleeing from police who
What
have
do I
now
do? Oh, there's a cop car. I'll just
ended
run to
that
him.
crash. You can see an officer
Hang on,
out
the
of his
car's
vehicle.
moving.
Now,
Let me
several
get
officers
out.
out of their
I'll
vehicles
just
with
get
their
out.
guns drawn.
Oh my God.
You can
I'm on
see
the
a suspect
ground.
appears to
Help
be
me.
crawling
I'm
out of
voting
the
for Joe
back
Biden. Help
windshield
me.
of that
Where's the
vehicle.
government? Call
You don't know if
911.
anybody else is in there,
Crazy people.
but that person is now in custody. Again, this is Hollywood.
All right. Pretty good little crash. They caught it on the live. I'm not even sure if I watched the whole thing on. I mean, they just stand around, gather evidence. Somebody be taking crash reports all freaking day. Insurance will go up for everybody because none of these guys have insurance or driver's license. They shouldn't have to have a driver's license, Rick. You don't need an ID to vote. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. It's racist in Texas to ask for ID now. Anyway, all right, we'll end that there. And I went ahead and looked up the article. It looks like high-speed chase ended with a rollover on I-35 in Broward County Wednesday. Police said the incident began when the officer started to pursue a stolen SUV. Oh my God. How do 5 people in doctor school steal a SUV? Amazing. You just can't make that shit up. How many other countries have doctors out there stealing SUVs? Involved in an attempted burglary of another vehicle. So they stole a car to go do another burglary? All on the way to school. All on the way to college to study. 5 juvenile suspects who were in the SUV were taken into custody and hospitalized. And their records will be sealed so it doesn't ruin their rest of their productive life once they get out of their juvenile crime spree. Multiple suspects chase, high speed, blah, blah, blah. Fort Lauderdale. All right. So I guess we know what happened. I was just guessing that it was stolen. How did you guess that, Rick? Call that a clue. We'll end that there.